Welcome back. So the next step after checking reliability of the instrument is computing new variables. What is computation of new variable? Look, these are the 4 questions that are measuring one construct, that is acquisition of knowledge. These 5 questions are measuring another construct, that is application of knowledge. Similarly, other questions and other constructs. Now we cannot process these 4 questions separately, so we need to make them one. We'll combine the scores of these variables, these elements, to compute an overall construct of acquisition. Similarly, we'll combine these 5 variables to compute overall construct of application, and so on. So how do we do that? We do that by going to transform compute variable. We decide and specify the name of the new variable, and you should remember that it follows the same convention. We cannot have any spaces or other illegal characters. For example, let's say this is acquisition, okay, and I will compute it. First I'll insert parentheses, and I will have to display variable names. I will move this and then plus, then this plus, then the next item plus, then the 4th and the last item of acquisition, that is acquisition 4, and since these are 4, I will divide them by 4. Okay, had there been 5 elements, I would have divided it by 5. Even that it is okay even if you don't divide it by 4, but it is better to do so because that would retain the symmetry. Okay, by doing this I will compute this variable, and once I do that, you will see that in output file it tells us compute acquisition is this, execute, it is telling us that the command has been executed. And now if you go to data view, you will see a new variable with the name acquisition. Okay, this variable has been computed from other variables available in the list. Okay, I can repeat it for other constructs. Okay, for example, instead of acquisition, now I need to compute the second variable, which is application. Okay, in the same way I will start with parentheses, and then I will select this, then the second element, then the third element, then the 4th element, and then the 5th element. Then I'll divide it by 5. Okay, now here you need to remember one thing. If you excluded any item during reliability analysis, we did not, because we did not need to. But sometimes when your reliability score is low and you see at that table which tells you if you delete this item your reliability will increase, and you do so, you will exclude that item from computation of the new variable. Okay, this is something that you should remember, that you will not include the element which you excluded to increase your reliability, because that is disturbing the reliability of your instrument. Suppose if I had removed this application 4 element to increase my reliability, I would not have included it here, and I would have divided it by 4. Okay, so that is something that you need to remember. Okay, so in this way, and I will compute the other variables in the same way. Now you can see there is a new variable application, and in variable view you can also see there are two new variables, acquisition and application. Okay, let's compute the third variable as well, because there is something that I need to tell you. Okay, transform, and we have this what, share, and or sharing, it is actually sharing. Okay, share 1, share 2 plus share 3 plus share 4, and I divide it by 4. Okay, this is now sharing. This new variable has also been computed. Now I want to show you the theoretical framework. Here is the theoretical framework, which is knowledge management. This leads to, say, what, job performance, which in turn leads to what, firm performance. So here is an issue. Acquisition, we have computed acquisition, sharing and application. Okay, and these three together make knowledge management. We have not measured knowledge management separately as a construct. You will not see any questions that are directly measuring knowledge management. So knowledge management is basically a combination of these three. So I will have to compute yet another variable, which is knowledge management, and I will compute it by summing up the computed variable. So let's see. Okay, now knowledge, or I can simply call it KM, knowledge management. Now I will use the variables I have computed to compute this new variable. Acquisition plus application plus sharing. Okay, these three together make knowledge management. So I have computed another variable which is knowledge management. So sometimes you have to first compute subconstructs and then combine them to get an overall construct, which is in this case knowledge management. This is called a second order variable. This is called second order variable. These were the first order variables which we computed by combining their elements, and this is the second order variable that we computed by combining these three sub constructs. Okay, and then we will compute job and firm performance separately.